Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men that most people never truly understand. When a man loves a woman, really loves her, his mind and heart work differently. Men may not always express emotions the way women do. We're not always good with words, but deep down, every man carries one fantasy when it comes to the woman he loves to be her everything. When it comes to men, one of the biggest misunderstandings in relationships is how they show love. Men express love through actions, not always words. You can tell a man loves you not by what he says every day, but by what he does when no one is watching. See, men are wired differently. While women are more emotionally expressive, men often speak in the language of effort. When a man truly loves a woman, his greatest desire is to show her, not just tell her. He may not write long paragraphs or pour out his heart every morning, but he'll make sure the gas in your car is filled, the door is opened, and you're safe when you get home at night. Those small actions, those quiet gestures, that's love in motion. When Steve Harvey talks about men, he always says, we're simple creatures, but our love runs deep. Men are problem solvers by nature. They want to fix things, provide solutions, and protect what they value. When a man loves you, he's constantly thinking of how he can make your life easier. If he sees you stressed, he'll try to take some of that burden. If he sees you worried, he'll look for a way to bring you peace. His pride isn't in how many romantic words he can say. It's in seeing you comfortable, smiling, and secure. That's how he measures his worth as a man. A man's love is often hidden behind his sense of duty. He believes that his purpose is tied to your happiness. You might not always hear, "I love you," but you'll see it in the way he listens when you talk about your day, or how he remembers the little things that matter to you. You'll notice it when he stands up for you, even when you're not around. You'll feel it in the way he holds you like you're the most valuable thing he's ever had. That's a man's way of saying, you matter to me more than anything. Sometimes women misread silence as distance, but for men, silence can mean focus. He's thinking of how to make things better, how to plan for your future, how to protect what you both have built. When a man truly loves a woman, he's not just dreaming about the next date, he's dreaming about the next decade. He's not planning to impress you for a night, he's preparing to keep you for life. So when you find a man who doesn't just talk love, but acts it out, value that. His gestures may seem small, but his intention is massive. Every ride he offers, every meal he shares, every promise he keeps, it all speaks louder than any poem or speech ever could. Because real men don't just express love, they demonstrate it. And the woman who understands that, who recognizes his efforts and respects them, will see the truest form of devotion a man can give. A man's biggest fantasy isn't about passion or physical attraction. It's about being the protector and provider for the woman he loves. Deep down, every real man carries an instinct that drives him to make sure the woman he cares about feels safe, secure, and cared for. When a man truly falls in love, his greatest desire is to take on the world for her. It's not about control or dominance. It's about responsibility and devotion. He wants to be her safety net when life gets hard, her shield when things go wrong, and her anchor when she feels lost. That's the fantasy that lives in every man's heart, to be the reason she never feels unprotected. When Steve Harvey talks about love, he often says that men are natural providers, not just in money, but in energy, effort, and presence. A man feels most alive when he's needed, when he feels his woman depends on him emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically. It gives him purpose. His love translates into acts of service, sacrifice, and strength. When he loves you, he starts thinking of ways to make your life better, to lift burdens off your shoulders, to handle what he can so you can breathe easier. He doesn't want to see you struggle, because in his mind, the woman he loves deserves peace, not pain. That's why men often fantasize about being the one their woman can count on. When he looks at you, he imagines a life where you never have to worry about being alone or unsupported. He wants to be your comfort in chaos, your calm in conflict, and your protector in every storm. It's not about ego, it's about instinct. It's in a man's nature to protect what he loves, just like it's in a mother's nature to nurture what she loves. That's how men love. That's how they dream. When a man truly loves you, he starts to think beyond himself. He'll go the extra mile even when he's tired. He'll give without expecting anything back. He'll plan for the future, not because he's afraid of losing you, but because he can't imagine a world where you're not taken care of. He'll work harder, he'll save more, he'll fight stronger, all to make sure you have the best of what life can offer. And here's the beauty of it: when he's protecting you, he's also protecting his own heart, because in his eyes, your happiness is his success. Your smile is his reward. A man who truly loves you will make sacrifices you may never see just to keep you safe and happy. That's his fantasy, not the fleeting kind of fantasy you see in movies, but the deep, powerful dream of being your protector and provider. He doesn't need to be rich or famous. He just wants to be the man who makes you feel like the safest woman in the world. Every man who truly loves a woman carries a secret dream deep inside to be her hero, not in the fairy tale sense of fighting dragons or wearing a cape, but in the real human way of being the one she trusts completely. A man's heart is built around purpose, and when he falls in love, that purpose becomes her. He wants to be the one she calls when she's scared, the one she leans on when she's tired, and the one who wipes away her tears when life gets heavy. This isn't pride, it's love. It's the deep, masculine desire to matter, to be valuable, to be the one who makes her feel safe in a world that can be so unpredictable. When Steve Harvey talks about how men think, he often says that a man needs to feel like he's winning with his woman. He needs to feel like he's doing something right. That's because love for a man isn't only an emotion, it's a mission. He wants to conquer her fears, not her freedom. He dreams of being the reason she feels protected and the one she believes in when everything else falls apart. When he loves, He loves with the hope that she'll see him as her hero, not because he's perfect, but because he tries. A man's fantasy is to earn a woman's trust so deeply that she never questions his loyalty or intentions. He doesn't just want her to admire him, he wants her to believe in him. When she believes in him, he becomes stronger, more confident, more driven. Her trust fuels his ambition, and her faith in him gives him courage to face the world. That's what a real man dreams of, to be the man she can depend on no matter what comes their way. It's not about saving her, it's about standing beside her through everything. Every time he does something thoughtful, like fixing something without being asked, or holding her hand in a crowd, it's his way of saying, "I've got you." He imagines a life where she never doubts that he's in her corner. He wants to be the shoulder she cries on, the voice that calms her storms, and the strength she leans on when she feels weak. That's his fantasy, to be her hero not because she needs one, but because she deserves one. And when she trusts him fully, when she looks at him with that quiet confidence that says, "I know you've got me," something changes in him. He stands taller, he works harder, he loves deeper. That's the magic of a man's love. It's not loud or showy, but it's powerful. When he's in love, his fantasy isn't about being adored by many. It's about being everything to one. All he wants is to be that man she can count on, the hero who may not wear armor, but will always fight for her with his heart. A real man's heart doesn't dream of control or power. It dreams of making his woman feel safe, valued, and cherished. When a man truly loves, his biggest desire is to see her walking in peace, knowing she's appreciated for exactly who she is. His fantasy isn't built on passion alone. It's built on protection, respect, and comfort. He wants to be the reason she feels calm after a long day, the person who brings her laughter when she's tired of pretending to be strong, and the one who reminds her that she's beautiful even when she doesn't see it herself. When he loves, he wants to be her peace in a noisy world. Men may not always say it, but their love is quiet and powerful. They show it through consistency, presence, and care. A man who loves deeply studies his woman. He pays attention to the little things, her moods, her habits, the way her eyes light up when she talks about something she loves. He remembers her favorite things, not because he has to, but because he wants to. That's his way of saying, "You matter to me." Steve Harvey often says, "A woman's heart is the prize, and a man in love will spend his life trying to win it every single day." That's what a real man does. He puts effort into making her feel special, not just once, but always. When a man loves, his dream is to create an environment where she feels safe to be herself. He wants her to open up without fear of being judged. He wants to be the man who listens to her dreams, her fears, and her thoughts, not just the man who enjoys her company. His fantasy isn't about being her everything. It's about being her safe place. When she's with him, he wants her to feel that she can finally breathe. That's what true love looks like through a man's eyes, not a chase for control, but a promise of comfort. He wants her to feel valued, not just for her looks, but for her heart, her strength, and her spirit. He notices the effort she puts into her life, the kindness she shows to others, and the resilience she carries in her silence. He wants to be the man who reminds her that she's extraordinary even when the world forgets to tell her. His greatest dream is to see her happy, glowing, and confident because of how he loves her, not in spite of it. A man's fantasy isn't found in material things, it's found in moments. The sound of her laughter, the sight of her smile, the peace of knowing she trusts him. Those are the things that stay in his heart. When a man truly loves a woman, his only wish is to make her feel love so deeply that she never questions her worth again. That is the kind of fantasy that defines real love. For a man, love is never just about words or gestures. It's about a deep sense of loyalty, peace, and pride in the woman he loves. When a man truly falls for someone, his greatest dream is to build a bond that brings him peace, not chaos. He wants loyalty more than attention, understanding more than excitement, and a lasting connection more than temporary thrill. A man in love finds comfort in knowing that his woman stands with him, not just beside him when times are easy, but behind him when life gets tough. That's the kind of loyalty he craves, and when he feels it, it changes the way he sees everything. Steve Harvey often says, men love loyalty like women love attention. And that's true. A loyal woman gives a man something no one else can, peace of mind. When a man finds that kind of peace, he starts to dream bigger, work harder, and love deeper. His fantasy isn't about perfection, it's about partnership. He wants to come home after a long day, sit next to her, and know he's safe emotionally. That kind of peace is rare, and when a man finds it, he values it more than anything else in the world. A man's heart is proud of the woman who stands by him. He wants to show her off, not because of her beauty alone, but because of who she is, her strength, her wisdom, her grace. He dreams of being the man who makes her proud too, the one she can speak highly of when she's around others. That mutual pride creates a love that's unbreakable. He doesn't fantasize about grand gestures. He fantasizes about a quiet, strong bond built on mutual respect and faithfulness. When she's loyal to him, he'll give her everything, his trust, his energy, his devotion, and his world. When a man loves a woman who brings him peace, he becomes a better version of himself. He's calmer, more focused, and more driven. She gives him balance, and in return, he gives her stability. It's a beautiful exchange that makes him dream of forever. He doesn't want to lose that peace, so he works to protect it. He avoids arguments, he learns patience, and he chooses love over ego. That's his fantasy, to keep that peace alive between them. To a man, loyalty means more than promises. It's the little things, the way she defends him when he's not there, the way she listens when he's silent, the way she stands firm even when things aren't perfect. Those moments feed his soul and make him believe that real love still exists. His fantasy is simple but powerful: to love a woman who gives him peace and to give her a life where she never doubts his loyalty in return. That's not just love. It's the kind of dream that makes a man never stop fighting for her. When a man truly loves a woman, his deepest fantasy isn't driven by desire or attraction. It's about emotional connection and lifelong commitment. He dreams of a bond so strong that nothing can break it, a love that lasts through every test life throws their way. For him, real love is not about possession, it's about partnership. He doesn't want to own her, he wants to grow with her. He doesn't dream of fleeting passion, he dreams of building a forever. His heart imagines a life where he wakes up every day beside the same woman, still thankful, still curious, and still madly in love. That's the kind of fantasy that lives in a man's soul when he's found the one. A man who loves deeply sees beyond the moment. He starts planning for the years ahead, thinking of how to keep the bond alive when the excitement fades and the routine begins. He fantasizes about holding her hand through every season, through success and failure, laughter and loss, youth and age. He wants to be the one she counts on, not just for now, but always. His love becomes a promise, one that doesn't fade when life gets tough. That's what makes a man's commitment so powerful. Once he gives his heart, he gives it for good. Steve Harvey often says that when a man truly commits, he doesn't just talk about forever, he starts building it. He invests time, effort, and heart. He wants to make sure the woman he loves never doubts his intentions. His fantasy isn't about chasing new excitement. It's about deepening the connection he already has. He dreams of growing old together, of building a life so full of shared memories that neither of them can imagine being apart. That's the ultimate dream, to be her constant, her comfort, her home. When a man loves like that, his fantasy becomes a mission to protect what they built. He wants to be her strength when she's weak and her joy when she's weary. He doesn't run from challenges. He faces them because he knows what he's fighting for. He dreams of growing wiser with her, learning her in new ways, even after years together, and still feeling the same spark that first drew him in. That's real love, when the fantasy isn't about something new, but about keeping something precious alive. To him, lifelong commitment isn't a burden, it's a privilege. The thought of loving her forever excites him more than anything else. He imagines watching her smile grow older, hearing her laugh echo through the years, and knowing that no matter what changes, their love will remain steady. His fantasy isn't a moment, it's a lifetime. It's the dream of standing by one woman through every sunrise and every storm, knowing that his heart found its home. Because for a man who truly loves, forever isn't a promise he makes lightly. It's the fantasy he lives for,